Today, we're talking about passive income, but probably not in the way you're thinking. We're going to skip the usual list of side hustles and dive way deeper. We're exploring the hidden mental scripts, the psychological glitches that can secretly sabotage our efforts to build wealth. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, think about it for a second. What if the real game isn't just about making more money? What if it's about understanding the really strange, kind of wacky ways our own brains think about cash? That's the big question we're unpacking today. First things first, let's just set the scene. I mean, it feels like everyone is looking for a way to make extra money right now, doesn't it? And honestly, for good reason. The pressure is definitely on.
Things like inflation are just eating away at our purchasing power. That regular paycheck, it just doesn't stretch as far as it used to. And because of that, this whole idea of an additional income stream isn't really a luxury anymore, is it? For a lot of us, it's becoming a flat-out necessity.
And of course, all this financial pressure feeds into a much bigger, much more powerful dream for so many people. The dream of total financial freedom. The dream of not having to work if you don't want to. This dream actually has a name you've probably heard of, the FIRE movement. It stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And the core idea is pretty simple, really. You save and invest like crazy so that eventually your investments start generating enough passive income to cover all your living expenses. And get this, they even have a magic number. The big goal for a lot of folks in the FIRE community is to save up 25 times their annual expenses. The logic here is that you can then pull out 4% each year to live on and, theoretically, never run out of money. It takes this huge abstract dream and makes it feel incredibly concrete, right? Okay, so the goal is crystal clear. But how do you actually get there? What are the tools in the toolbox? Let's switch gears and talk about some of the practical strategies. Man, there are countless strategies out there. You could go the creative route, write an ebook, start a YouTube channel, create something once and then sell it over and over. Or you could go the investment route, putting your money into assets that pay you, like dividend stocks. Then there's the entrepreneurial path. Buy a blog, flip stuff from stores, or even rent out items you already own. The main theme, no matter which path you take, is creating systems that make money with less and less of your direct time and effort. But hold on. Before we get too carried away, it's so important to understand this one point. A financial coach named Todd Tresidder put it perfectly. He said this isn't about getting something for nothing. Passive income usually means a ton of work or a ton of money up front. The passive part, that comes way, way later. And this is where our whole story takes a really interesting turn. Because even when you have a clear goal and a playbook full of great ideas, most people still struggle. And the reason why often has nothing to do with their work ethic or how much money they have. It has everything to do with a weird little glitch in our own brains. So let's just ask the question directly. If all the strategies are out there and the desire to be free is so strong, what is this invisible force that's holding so many of us back? Well, part of the answer lies in something called the scarcity mindset. Just think about it for a second. When you're stressed out about making rent this month, your brain focuses only on that immediate problem. You're not really in a headspace to think long-term about investing or starting some cool side project. This intense focus on not having enough can actually lead to some pretty bad decisions, trapping you in a cycle that's just really hard to break. Okay, so now let's zoom in on one of the most powerful and honestly bizarre examples of our brain's financial glitches in action. It's a crazy cognitive trap called mental accounting. To really get this, we're going to walk through a classic experiment from the guys who basically invented behavioral economics, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. The question they were asking was simple. How can the exact same amount of money feel completely different depending on the situation? All right, imagine this. You're going to a play. In scenario A, you lose the $10 ticket you already bought. In scenario B, you lose a $10 bill on your way to the theater. Now, financially, the loss is identical, right? $10 is $10. But does it feel the same? And more importantly, does it change what you do next? Okay, the results for that first scenario are just fascinating. When people lost the actual ticket, a majority, 54% of them, said they would not buy another one. It just felt too expensive, like they were suddenly paying $20 for a $10 play. But now look at this. In the second scenario, where they just lost the cash, a whopping 88% said they would still buy the ticket. It's like the loss of the cash felt totally separate from the cost of the play. I mean, just think about that. It's the exact same financial loss, but the decision is completely flipped on its head.
And this is a perfect illustration of mental accounting. We don't treat all our money the same, even though we should. Instead, we put it into these invisible buckets in our minds. In the first scenario, that first $10 came out of the entertainment bucket. Buying another ticket would mean overdrawing that specific account, and that feels bad. But in the second scenario, the lost $10 came from some general cash bucket, so the entertainment bucket was still full and ready to go. So, where does this all leave us? What does it all mean? It means the path to financial freedom isn't just paved with spreadsheets and side hustles. It's really about winning an inner game. So here's the bottom line. Just recognizing that these mental traps exist is the huge first step to overcoming them. True financial success isn't just about the hustle. It's about becoming aware of these invisible scripts that are running our financial lives, a lot of the time without us even knowing it. And that leaves us with one final question for you to chew on. Think about the way you treat a tax refund versus your regular salary, or fun money versus bill money. Which of these secret mental accounts are running your financial life? Seriously, the answer to that question might just be the key that unlocks your entire financial future.